One thing I wanted to dive in with you, Scott, and talk about is, I've noticed a lot with, newer members in our program, they get the idea that they want to continue to be in the lives of their borrowers, right? So they may have done a purchase in the last 2 years, right? But they struggle to find a way to be relevant in their clients' lives. And so, one of the things that I always teach, and I think it's, very transitionary to what you do, is a relationship doesn't just have to be I pick the phone up and I call you and I ask how the kids are. Now, that's definitely a version of it. And I think if you have the ability to have those kind of conversations and the other person's bought into it, that's a good position to be in, because that means you got a seat at their table during Thanksgiving should you need it. And that's a great kind of social equity to have. But a relationship could also be content. It could also be you provided value when nobody else did. A relationship takes a lot of forms. I'd be curious about your perspective on this, but also maybe what are you doing to use content, not just to attract attention, not just to attract leads, but also to nurture the relationship. What are you doing in that capacity, or what are your perspectives on that?
Yeah. So what we do on our platform, what we do for our customers is we help loan officers create long form content, and it's mostly video content. And then what we do is once a month, we're sending an email digest of the last 3 videos that they put out. It's just touches. It's just staying top of mind. I think I mentioned it earlier. You don't have to solve anybody's specific problem. You're just showing yourself to be a problem solver, and you're telling stories, and you talk about what kind of content. Well, what is the conversation? So there's 2 types of content, right? There's evergreen, and then there's timely and relevant. And timely and relevant is the conversation you just had with the first-time home buyers that they're not going to be able to buy right now, but you can help them get into a position to buy in the future. Whatever conversations you're having today with clients, if you pop onto a 60-second video, it doesn't have to be a success story about you winning the day. It can just be, hey, I just had this conversation, and I know a lot of other people out there are having these same questions and concerns about the market. So I wanted to share what we talked about on this conversation because I think it might be relevant to other people. And like that kind of thing that people see that you're trying to help other people. It's not always, hey, do you know anybody that's looking for a loan, or do you know anybody that's looking for this? It's like, this is a market for communication and education. There will be business out there, but you're going to earn that business by earning their trust. You're going to earn that trust by earning the eyeballs, and the only way to earn those eyeballs is to have content out there that's available for them to find on their timelines. So it doesn't have to be a specific message. I also like tools, homeowners, things like HomeBot, Home IQ, Home Scout, these kinds of tools that deliver a personalized one-to-one value proposition. For home buyers, I like something like a FinLocker, something that's like a budgeting tool and homeownership, early entry homeownership type of content. But think in terms of education in this market, not conversion. Conversion comes after you educate. So like right now, be a market whisperer, be the decipherer of the market. You don't have to have an opinion on it, or you don't have to be able to predict what the market can be, but I know you have an opinion on it, so share, right? And don't hang your hat on anything like, I know rates will be lower in, next year. You don't know. How many of you thought rates would be lower today than they were 6 months ago? Right? Almost everybody.
I think they knew it, and they also hoped.
Well, and that's it. But hope's not a strategy, and what we have the ability to do is narrate the experience. And by narrating the experience, you're creating content that people are going to trust. And that's all they need. They don't need answers. They just need to know that you're there when they have questions.
Well, just an easy I'm shooting from the hip on this, but even an easy example is if somebody just wanted to document their thoughts. And I think that people underestimate the value of that because it's the same reason. Why do you hire a good lawyer? You want the best to represent you. You don't the last thing you want, I can tell you from experience, is a public defender. Okay. It's you want to have a lawyer who represents you. Mortgage is the same. Nobody wants to have the guy who has nothing to add, no value, no opinions. That's not an expert. Experts are willing to stake their flag in something and go, this is good or this is bad.
Yep.
Look at Atkins as a diet, right? Atkins makes some bold claims. Atkins has opinions. There's plenty of people that disagree. Atkins is very successful,
yep.
Right? If you're nobody wants to work with the fitness person that goes, how do I lose weight? Well, it depends. What do you mean it depends? On what? No, have a plan. Give me clarity. Right? You should be solving my problems. You should also be giving me a sense of confidence that you actually know what you're talking about. Well, stating your opinions is an easy way to do that. And so to kind of tap in as a tangible example to what Scott was just saying, if you're like, well, how do I make content? What do I even talk about? Here's an example of just kind of what he talked about and tweak it for your own voice. But you could share some version of, guys, I just wanted to kind of share, this is Dear Diary episode 1 about the mortgage industry. And I just want to talk, I'm obviously just like you hoping rates go down. I think that that's just good for the individual economics of every family. However, I wanted to also bring you 3 reasons why now is a great time to buy a house, because I understand that not a lot of people are bringing you that information. And here's what's happened. If you zoom out and look at real estate historically, there's, obviously in small times, if we go into any 1 year by year basis, yes, there's been times real estate took a dip. But if we zoom out, there's never been a more stable investment, right? So this is reason 1 why now is a good time, because you get in on the equity. Here's reason number 2. If you decide to wait, I actually tell our clients this all the time because I think it's a mindset. But if you decide to wait 12 years or 12 months from now, 18 months from now, guess what equity did? Guess what your income did? You are worse positioned by waiting. Now is a better time to buy. The age-old, what's the best time to plant a tree 20 years ago? The second best time is today, right? Well, that applies to real estate. And so you could totally take this and share your thoughts and opinions, but also, why is it still a good time to buy? There's no such thing as a bad market. There's bad market conditions, but there's still good reasons to do business anytime in history, right? It's all perspective. It's all mindset. And this actually taps into something that kind of pisses me off, just to be honest, is when loan officers become cynical in their content. And it's like, if you want to repel the market, here's a good way to do it. There was a time when rates started to go up and loan officers were kind of like, what do we do? How do we adapt? I don't know. I'm scared. Our clients are scared, which is fair. That's fair. But, this is kind of like toughen up, before you walk out to talk to your prospects, get yourself together. The last thing you should be doing is sharing memes about it's hard out there with rates so high. If you see a loan officer, buy him a drink. That doesn't serve your consumer. All it does is make them feel like, well, I guess I shouldn't buy. If the professionals, if the experts are saying it's a really shitty world, I'm just going to stash cash under my mattress. It's like, you're not giving hope. You're not showing them that now's a good time to buy. All you're doing is saying, I'd rather greet people at Walmart because I don't want to attract people with value that actually gives them something tangible, good reason why they should do business in general or with me, right? It's like, and so I think content is really important for you as a conduit of hope as well. Like Scott talks a lot about education. I think that 100%, I totally agree with that. But it's also a way for you to have a deviated message when all of your competitors, and I mean a lot of your competitors, are super cynical right now. You get to be the beacon of hope through content. Like, it's a way for you to have a message that there's actually a real estate agent, Ricky something. I think everybody should follow him just for ideas. Let me find him because I think it's worth looking at. Ricky Carruth. It's RICKYCARRUTH. He's a real estate agent, and all of his stuff, in a sea of everybody being like, "Oh, rates are high. This sucks." He's talking about like, "Ooh, man, it's getting hot out there. Like, and like, you can't help but feel inspired after you watch his videos, right? And now this is more social content, right? Which is a little different than like long form writing and videos to support that, but it doesn't have to be. But it's a testament, and he's gone viral, right? Well, why is he going viral? Buyers want to make this work, but when all they hear is you can't, you shouldn't, you won't, you don't, it's like this shit. Oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know? And so be the beacon of hope through education, through inspiration. Why is now a good time? And it is. If you ask ChatGPT, what's 5 reasons people should buy real estate even during a high interest rate market? ChatGPT can come up with 5 ideas. So what's your excuse? It doesn't have a license. It doesn't know this stuff. It doesn't, I mean, it probably does know the guidelines at this point, but like, you know, like you got to be the hope. You got to be the positive person that inspires people to take action.